everyone. I'm Amber Rowden. I am the community storyteller at Rainforest Alberta here in Calgary. Bridget Legault, who will be joining us very soon. She is the community manager at Rainforest Alberta here in Calgary. If you are new to Rainforest, welcome to Lunch Without Lunch, our weekly Wednesday event where we get connected, we build trust, we learn about what's happening in the innovation sector. So we're a community of innovators, doers, dreamers, connectors, builders, and we work to build a culture of trust and diversity and inclusion and bring ideas together to life. And so if you're interested in following us along on social media or sharing about Lunch Without Lunch today, please feel free to find us at Rainforest AB or Rainforest YEG if you're in Edmonton. If you are new to the rainforest, please raise a hand. We'd love to welcome you into the community. And please feel free to share your name and your LinkedIn profile and, what you're looking for, what brought you here today. And before we get started, I want to share a land acknowledgement. So this land acknowledgement is from the Calgary International Film Foundation and the Rosa Foundation.
Growing up, my grandma always told me that the land took care of us, and it still is taking care of us, and it never asks for anything back.
It is a way of life to always honor the environment. It's not something that you just can turn on and off. It's a living daily lifestyle.
And that acknowledgement is a way to acknowledge that we're coexisting in this land with the native people, and we should acknowledge that this is actually their traditional territory. But at the same time, we are all guests to this land.
The land plays a big factor in who we are. That's what makes us strong. That's what makes us strong people.
Growing up, my grandma...
All right, so if you are in another area of the province or the country or around the world, please feel free to share your land acknowledgement in the chat. Thank you for the opportunity to share a land acknowledgement and to demonstrate leadership on reconciliation and the commitment to joining Rainforest Alberta in doing so. If you would like to share your own land acknowledgement at the beginning of Lunch Without Lunch, as always, please feel free to reach out to myself or to Bridget. We would love to have you share that at the beginning. So as I mentioned, Rainforest Alberta, we're all about building trust and diversity, and we're really a community that focuses on that and bringing the next idea forward and how we can all collaborate together to do so. So this video is an introduction to what we're all about at Rainforest. So I'll play the video.
What does it take to realize an idea or for a seed to sprout? At Rainforest Alberta, we know the answer is rooted in trust. Traditionally, Albertans have cultivated their ideas in established systems. Inputs that don't fit these systems are weeded out. Opportunities for growth are missed. But now, Albertans want a dynamic landscape that can evolve organically, like a rainforest. At Rainforest Alberta, we believe a culture of trust is the fertile soil where ideas grow. Our budding innovation ecosystem is a network of relationships pulling each other up as they push forward in their own field. Trust breaks down barriers. An open, inclusive network increases collaborative innovation. Successful breakthroughs inspire new ideas. A cycle begins. Rainforest Alberta is a movement to amplify trust by cultivating honesty, inclusion, and accountability. How? Our social contract holds us accountable to demonstrate trust across the province. We meet to have honest conversations around collaboration. This leads to more inclusive spaces for everyone to fearlessly build new ideas together. By raising the standard of trust, Alberta's ideas, talent, and resources can be evergreen. Visit rainforestab.ca to sign the social contract and start growing together.
Okay, so we use 6 pillars to guide our conversations and actions, and they're not all weighted equally. Like any ecosystem, the right balance is crucial. And so these are measured each year through our scorecard assessment. So we recently just did the scorecard assessment for 2022, and we'll be launching those results next Wednesday at Lunch Without Lunch. We will be at Platform Calgary in person. Of course, there is a hybrid option, but we would love if you could come join us in person to make those collisions and collaborations and meet in person and to see those results. So we're very excited to share those, the findings with you this year and the overall score for 2022. So at the Rainforest, culture is weighted 30%, which is something that we focus on a lot at Rainforest. Leaders is something we also focus on at Rainforest, and it's 20%. Resources is 15%. Engaged activities is 10%. 15% for policy and infrastructure, and 10% for role model. So tips to making the most out of Lunch Without Lunch: introduce yourself in the chat, what you're working on, what you're looking for, what you can offer. Please share that with us. We're all about making connections, getting to know one another. Connect with individuals through direct messaging. Put your camera on. It's always great to see everyone's face. Ask questions. Staying curious is always great. Keep connecting on our Slack workspace, but also connect on Inkly. You can ask your questions there and be connected to meaningful and purposeful connections. You can check out lunch notes for a capture of today's chat, and Lunch Without Lunch recordings are posted on YouTube. We do have a little bit of an update for Lunch Without Lunch. We kind of have a concrete schedule now. So as I mentioned, we are doing the scorecard results next Wednesday in person at Platform. And following that, we will be having a lot more in-person events, which we're very excited about. So they will also be online as well. However, join us February 22nd. We will be at Neo Financial. We will have lunch with lunch. And then after that, March 1st, we'll be at the Hunter Hub. And March 15th, we'll be at Mount Royal University at the Bassett School of Business. Those will all be posted on our Luma page, and I will share those links in the chat as well. So we have a social contract at Rainforest Alberta. There are 10 values that we live and work and play by, and we exemplify in our daily life. This helps us grow a culture of trust and building new ideas and moving that forward within the ecosystem. So this week we highlight fairness. So I will be nice and treat everyone fairly. I will take advantage of no one. As we've mentioned, we have worked with Inclusivity. We are making the social contract more inclusive, more diverse, and changing the language. We've been quite busy with the scorecard. So after the scorecard is done and the report's done, we will be working on rewriting the social contract. You can sign the social contract by scanning that QR code, and I'll also throw a link into the chat as well. And if you haven't already, we have launched a pilot powered by Inkly. And so we've digitized the rainforest community. So if you have a question that you're curious about, you're looking for advice or a mentor, or you're looking for investment or anything you can really imagine, this is the platform to do so. So far, we have more replies than we do questions, which shows that the engagement and the community is really active on this channel. So if you scan that barcode, you can be directed to Inkly and the digital community, and I'll also throw a link in the chat. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And as I was talking a little bit before with people that were in the room, I kind of, David asked me what was the topic for today. I kind of was vague and I teased it a little bit because I am really excited about what we're doing. And I kind of wanted to leave it to Alicia and Meghan to really share what we're doing. But it's a really unique and awesome learning experience that anyone and everyone can be a part of. And so our leadership experts and gurus, they're gonna share with us what we're doing, and they're gonna introduce this awesome new learning experience. So without further ado, and I know the suspense is probably, you're all wondering what's happening. So I'm gonna pass it on to Meghan and Alicia.
All right.
You built us up, Amber.
Oh, perfect. That's exactly what I was trying to do.
Oh, that's awesome. So Alicia's going to grab some slides there. So this is one part giving you a taste, something that you have the opportunity to sign up for if you choose. It's totally free to you. It's a lot of fun. I can promise you a lot of fun. And today will be an opportunity to get to know each other in a new way, to learn something about leadership that's connected to the rainforest and our social contract and leadership commitment, and to experience what we're calling Rainforest Circles, which you can become part of if you choose. So if you like today, you have an opportunity. Okay, so
All
here's the plan.
Okay. So today we are really going to dive into what are these rainforest circles? Did we just make something up? And what are we trying to accomplish with them? We're going to let you know how it works, what a circle looks like. And then we're going to walk you through the idea of a circle. So it will be an abridged version here with Lunch Without Lunch, but it will give you an idea and a taste for what it's like. And we'll do a quick recap and talk about what it will take to sign up. Is everyone hearing me okay? Okay, I have a big warning that says microphone issue. I'll just ignore that and continue on. Okay, so starting with the why we do Rainforest Circles. So when we talked with Amber and with Bridget about what we could accomplish for the ecosystem, we really talked about how do we combine this concept of learning, connecting, and leading. How do we bring these together to really create that inclusive environment that we're wanting to have for our innovation ecosystem that Amber did such a great job describing? And so they're built around the leadership commitment. So any of you who've been following sort of as Meghan and I have been working with Rainforest, we've talked sort of in 5 different areas about what that leadership commitment is. And we're going to zone in on each of those areas. Because you create a really small circle, you're going to create new connections and new.
I turned the video off so I can eat it.
It's okay, Shelley, no worries. And so it's going to offer a great opportunity to connect. And then it really is going to reinforce this opportunity of us all being able to lead within the ecosystem and see how we can step into that opportunity. All right, I'm going to turn it over to you, Meghan.
I was thinking about before we talk about what circles are, we maybe should introduce ourselves because it's possible that some people don't like, why are these 2 people talking to me about leadership? What kind of credibility do they have associated with that? So very quickly, my name is Meghan Donohoe. I am a self-proclaimed leadership nerd and scientist. I have a background in industrial organizational psychology, which is the psychology of people at work, and currently pursuing my PhD on the topic of leadership and well-being. So I have a deep knowledge of leadership and also in the context of practice. So working within organizations on leadership development and in practical ways, how can leaders find ways to engage their teams and help people find meaningful and purposeful work. So that's about me, and over to Alicia.
Yeah, and so for me, my experience lies within HR, specifically sort of your talent areas, leadership development, learning and development, succession, performance. I am also a nerd, all things leadership and learning. I have my master's in education in adult and workplace learning, and just recently completed my certificate in executive coaching from Royal Roads. So really love continuing to build and learn new ways of supporting leaders and have a really broad definition of what a leader is. So looking forward to talking more about this.
Yeah, and we are insatiable learners about leadership. So we don't pretend to be the all-knowing experts. We love a good conversation and dialogue about leadership. We love hearing about your experiences, which is what these circles are all about. And so this is a really unique learning opportunity that allows you to build very trusting relationships, expand your networks. You're gonna be paired up with people who have never met before, and you're gonna have the opportunity to get to know them on a deeper level, while also learning about and exploring leadership concepts that are connected to the social contract in Rainforest. So we're going to be focusing on topics each week. If you sign up for the circle, it's not going to be in Lunch Without Lunch, but it will be an additional unique experience that you can engage in. and all around topics related to leadership. So self-inquiry, curiosity, this idea of advocacy, how to amplify and advocate for others. How do you create or foster connections with the people that you surround yourself with at work and in your personal lives, speaking with candor, and this idea of leading with generosity and compassion. So these are all topics that we'll be covering in the circle.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about more what it's about. Yeah. Good to go, Alicia. I can go through this. So basically how it works, and I've participated in 4 circles over the last couple of years. We do this within the organization I work full-time for, which is SATE. I've seen it done in other organizations in different ways. It is so much fun. And each time I've experienced it, it's been a little bit different and a great way to meet people. So you are going to, if you sign up or choose to participate, and we're going to give you a taste today so you can kind of know what you're getting into. But what will happen is when you sign up, hopefully you sign up, you'll be matched with about 4 other community members, and you will self-facilitate a cohort. So each week you are going to meet for 1 hour to talk about some reading that has been curated for you. So you'll be provided with a guide each week that you can follow, where you'll have some content to review or read and reflect. And then there'll be some questions there that you can use to start a conversation with your group. It's so much fun. And it really doesn't take a huge amount of extra work. You can be expected to have about 30 minutes of pre-read. I usually tell people it's about an hour of your time on your own that you would read or watch something and reflect. And then you're going to meet with your cohort for an hour each week. And that can be in person, it can be virtually, it can be a combination of both. And you'll also have the opportunity, so hopefully we'll get a large community of people. We're looking for lots and lots of folks to want to join so that we can come together in a large community every once in a while and hear what others are talking about and learning. We'll also have an online forum that we can chat and share our learning. And there will be a wrap-up celebration as well, where we can come together as a large group and talk about all the cool things we learned and see each other and introduce each other to the other people we know in the room.
Yeah, thanks, Megan. And I think one of the really neat things, we've heard a lot about how people want opportunities to interact with those that are not just like them. So that will be one of our focus as we bring these groups together, that they are a diverse representation of the rainforest. And it really is that opportunity to perspective shift, right? To hear somebody else's perspective and how something lands with them or doesn't land with them. I love it when things we share, people go, this is the stupidest thing I've heard, because then I want to know more. So I think that, in addition to the nuts and bolts, these collisions are so beneficial in creating new perspectives for people to work from. So it's sort of like we're going deeper and deeper into the detail, but each circle, so we're going to be spanning this over many weeks, and we sort of have it broken down at the very end, but every circle will have thought-provoking content. So that's what Megan spoke to, that there's some asynchronous time where you will need to read or view some content that we've curated for you. There will be a warm-up activity that is really designed about creating trust within your small group. There will be conversation starters. So while we're giving you some content, we're going to give you some questions to ponder that you can use to start the conversation. My experience has been that people barely need these, because it usually just spawns a huge discussion in many different ways. At the end, there's a gratitude practice. And so, really honing in on that opportunity to recognize those around you. Reflection, I think anyone who's heard me talk about learning, I really believe that in order for learning to be onboarded, reflection is really critical to be able to bring that forward and center in on what it is you learned. And then we're going to give you more reading, because as we both professed, we are nerdy about this stuff. So when we curate, we've had to cut down a lot of things. So we'll be able to provide you some of the extra things in case you found the topic really interesting and want to dive down some more. So we are now going to dive in and give it a try. We are going to break you up. And I say we very broadly because Amber is the magician behind the breakout groups here. And you will be in groups of 4 to 5 people. And we're going to start with a warm up. So just like you would in the cohort, and we're going to keep you in this group there's 2 breakouts today. about building trust. And so what we want you to do is we want you to share a story about someone who had a profoundly positive impact in your life. And we're going to give you about 15 minutes for each of you to share the story. I encourage you to ensure that everyone has a chance to voice this, this positive impact that occurred in their life. Anything you want to add to this, Meghan?
Just that it's an opportunity already to start building trust in a deeper way. And so really the purpose of these is to get under the surface. So where you're comfortable, share something meaningful to you, someone who really has had a profound impact. And I think what we'll do is we'll notify you, we'll kind of give you a, like, okay, 4 minutes in, make sure you rotate to the next person because it's important that everyone has a chance to share.
Perfect. Are you ready to go, Amber?
I am.
Awesome. Okay. I hope you have your stories ready.
We'll bring you back in I'm going to say about 12 minutes.
It looks like more of you are coming back from your rooms. How was it for those of you who haven't had a chance to share? What was the experience like?
Can I go?
Yes.
Hi, Meghan. I am getting to participate personally like this for the first time on this platform. Last time I was here, I was kind of sharing my headset with my classmate. I am a student and a thorough HR professional, well-versed with customer service and everything. And now I decide to enter the tech world, which we cannot escape ever. And I really found this entire platform a very, very welcoming thing.
That's wonderful.
It gets you out of your depression, you can still start your career and get to know people who are like-minded, who are welcoming.
Great.
That's the best thing.
Good. I'm glad you had a chance to share and feel connected. Good stuff. Peyton?
Thank you.
Hey, did I get the right button? I think so. Anyways, yeah, I guess the wisdom that was kind of shared in our group a lot, it's kind of two things. The first one was parents and family share a lot of wisdom. And I think the reflection was like, often at the time, we kind of get uncomfortable with it or upset at it a little bit. And then like years later in reflection, we realize how much value it had and how much impact it had on our lives. And then I think the other really big kind of message we talked about is just like being open to talk about insecurities and emotions and stuff, and how it's kind of important in this day and age to, be vocal about it and try to build a community around like support, I guess, is the biggest thing. And, people have different triggers and stuff like that, and just trying to be aware of them and support everybody is really important. And yeah,
I love it.
about.
Thanks
Also,
for sharing.
Amber, we have matching shirts. We do that too often.
Always good to find your twin.
Yeah, I mean, she's right under me in the camera, so.
Oh, there you go. So you see it. So I think what's so beautiful about storytelling is that there's layers to it, right? You get a chance to get to know somebody more deeply and connect on a deeper level. And also through storytelling, we're able to find different meaning depending on where each of us are at when we enter the conversation. So it's often better than advice, because advice is usually curated from the person giving it on what they believe the other person needs to hear. Whereas when you tell a story, people can find within that story what is important for them to hear at the time. And it's a wonderful way to hear learn from other people's experiences while also getting to know them more deeply. Yeah, Pete?
Okay, I'll just try to be quick. I'll summarize from each. I shared a story of when I was a fur trader and I learned to trust the people in rural Alberta, from the north of the province to the bottom. And I was out there with a lot of cash at any given time, and actually learned to really trust people out in the field because they were my people. They were looking after me. And it was just a great experience to get to know so many walks of life. Alexander told an amazing story about how his journey of not having such a perfect life and having been abused along the path, but found his way into the Yukon and really into an outdoor area where they were mushroom hunting after, and people could get lost. And so he found trust in people that kind of understood
Cool.
how to navigate and get around in a completely foreign place. So that was very
Awesome.
interesting.
Yeah.
And have Ray shared the message of really how in a trusted relationship that you have to be able to shift the leadership role between you so that you
Mm.
can share those experience back and forth and then follow and or trust each other, that you can provide leadership. There you go.
Awesome.
That's all I got.
Thank you, Pete. Thanks so much. And I think we don't what's really important is we want you to walk away having this feeling of connection with these other people and a taste for this is what the circles would be like. You will connect with the same people over 7 weeks, get a chance to get to know them more deeply each week through these types of warm-up conversations and learn from their own experiences and stories. So the next piece of the circle would be you would get curated pre-reads and watches that no more than 30 minutes of your time it'll take you to go through this. So you will do this in advance. And then when you go to the circle, you will be given some discussion questions that you can talk about with your with the cohort in the circle to hear what were their perspectives, what did they take away from the reading, how does it relate to their own experiences in their careers and life, and what are some other things that they like that they might bring into the conversation. So we're going to try that here. We're going to give you show you a very quick video of thought-provoking content from a researcher named Amy Edmondson. She is the foremost expert in psychological safety and has a wonderful message on leadership. And then what we're going to do is we're going to give you some discussion questions and send you back into your groups and give you an opportunity to talk about what you heard.
All right, here we go. Hopefully.
If you're not the boss or you're not the team leader, many people think, well, there's nothing I can do. I have to wait for the leader to do something. And the truth is, leaders do have an outsized influence on the psychological safety of a team or an organization. But you have to distinguish between leader, which is a role, and leadership, which is a behavior. And leadership is the behavior that influence others in positive ways. It turns out that any one of us can exercise leadership at any point. The kind of leadership that you can exercise as merely a team member to make a difference in your team is quite profound. And it turns out the same things that I recommend leaders do are things that you can do. Frame the work. You can actually remind your colleagues that we're up against an incredibly challenging, unfamiliar, unknown path ahead, and everybody's voice might matter. Like, you can say things like that. You can call attention to uncertainty, to interdependence, and that helps other people understand that their participation matters. Second, anyone can exercise leadership on a team by asking good questions of their colleagues, even of their leaders. Just ask questions every single time you ask a thoughtful question of a colleague. You are giving that person a gift, the gift of your interest, the gift of your respect, because you are implicitly saying, I think you have something to contribute here. Any one of us can do that. And of course, responding productively is something you can do as well. On a team, if someone suggests an idea, you can say, hey, that's interesting, I'd like to learn more. Wow, you just made it more psychologically safe, and you advance the conversation at the same time.
All right, thank you.
If you're not,
yeah, thank you, Amy. So we're going to put you back in your breakout rooms, and we're going to, we've given you some conversation starters. You will not get through all these questions, I guarantee it. This is just going to be a taste, but this is an opportunity for you to reflect on some of your reactions to what you just heard. And we've talked a little bit about, what about this leader versus leadership, or framing the work. And I personally love that every time you ask a question, you're giving a gift of interest. I think it matches very nice with this sort of inquiry and how positive that is. So we're going to put you back in your breakout rooms. It's probably going to be very short. So just a quick, we'll call it a lightning round, and bring you back probably in sort of 6 to 7 minutes. Hello, everybody.
How was that?
Hello.
Just give a it's perfect.
Just give a thumbs up. Yeah, we don't need to hear what you talked about.
Yeah.
But hopefully, and it probably felt rushed. So this was really just a teaser, an opportunity to see what it's like when you watch something, you share in a learning together, and then you talk about it together and you hear various perspectives around that topic. And I know that it was tricky with the questions. Some of you couldn't see it in the chat. In the circle experience, you will have a full guide that will help you. You'll be able to refer to with those questions to guide the conversation. And sometimes the conversation goes off in a totally different direction, and you just go with it because that's clearly where the team needed to go, and it makes it a lot of fun and really unique.
Yes, guidelines, they're guidelines, not rules.
Yes.
So,
yes.
And you would obviously, you would have this documentation with you. So we mentioned at the beginning that part of the circles is also this idea of practicing gratitude. Each week you will share, like someone will have hosting duties. So it will be their responsibility. But as we continue on to tell you sort of a few more details, we're going to ask that you share a comment in the chat, recognizing someone that you interacted with today. Really recognizing the impact that gratitude has, not only on the receiver, but also on the person giving or sort of thinking of the gratitude. So just giving you that opportunity while we walk through what the Rainforest Circles are going to look like.
Mm-hmm. So I want you to be very specific with your gratitude. And there's some really interesting brain science out there that talks about how beneficial having a gratitude mindset and practicing gratitude is for your health and your well-being. And so using the circle as an opportunity to find ways to be very specific with your gratitude. Thank you so much, Alicia, for sharing your slides today and guiding us through this presentation, or I really valued your perspective and example on this, is a great way to practice that muscle. So please share those in the chat, and thank your group members for what they contributed today. And so with the Rainforest Circles, we've mentioned it before, it's 7 weeks. We are set to launch on the week of March 13th with a kickoff. So you will be invited, if you decide to sign up, you will have until February 24th to sign up. That gives us a couple weeks to put you into groups. And then the kickoff, you will be invited to a meeting, a virtual kickoff where we will go through the program and like exactly the details you need. And then you'll have a chance to go and connect with your cohort members, get to know them and get things started. And then you'll see week 2 to week 6 is all about the various components of the program. So inquiring with curiosity, advocate and amplify others, nurture and foster connections, candor and generosity. And then on week 7, it's always an extra, it's sort of that week to catch up. So sometimes, people are on vacation, you can't make your schedules work, so you miss a week, that's okay. There's always an opportunity to catch up at the end of the program, and we will host a wrap-up celebration where we'll all come together in person to connect and to celebrate our learning. Any questions about this while you have us here in this moment?
So we still have a chance to decide whether we want to participate in this, right? We're going to be doing a sign up thing afterwards. Thanks.
Yes, absolutely. So you can think about it. I have pasted the link to sign up in the chat here. And I know that Amber plans to share it on social media. And so, you decide, you think about if you want to sign up or not. You have until February 24th to sign up and let us know that you want to participate. And also we're requesting that you share this with your networks. We really want to gain a diverse group of people who are part of this. The more diversity we have in those participating, the more diverse your cohorts get to be. So you get to meet people within the ecosystem and get to know them more deeply. And also, I love seeing all these gratitudes. Well done, everyone.
Yeah, awesome seeing the gratitude come through.
Yeah, right.
All right.
Yeah, is there, sorry, you mentioned sharing to our networks. Is there going to be like a LinkedIn post or something about this that we can share around?
Yes.
Perfect.
You betcha. Yeah, you can watch. Rainforest will amplify it. I will, Alicia will. So feel free to connect with us as well on LinkedIn.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, Amber, we will turn it over to you. Sorry, we've left you with 3 whole minutes.
No, that's totally okay. Thank you so much for being here today and sharing about the Rainforest Circles and taking us through such an awesome exercise and a little bit of a teaser on what's to come if you join the Rainforest Circles. And we hope that you can all join us, and you had such a great experience today, and we look forward to seeing you in the Rainforest Circles. So yes, it is community announcement time. I did mention at the beginning, we're Lunch Without Lunches. I threw that in the chat. Next week, it'll be a platform. We'll release the scorecard results. Please join us in person. There's also a hybrid component. After that, we'll be at Neo Financial, lunch with lunch. So please come. It'll be a lot of fun, and also lunch. Who doesn't love lunch? And yeah, I'll pass it on and open it up to anyone else for community announcements.
I'll just really quickly add to that. Come in person if you can. These people are kind enough to host us, and it is a completely different experience in person. So platform next week, Neo the following, and then we're going all over the post-secondary. So make the effort and join us, please. It's going to be fun. And it will be mediocre in hybrid settings at these various places, most likely. We're hoping for good tech, but we'll see.
So more reason to come in person.
I'd love to do the acknowledgement at the platform next week, if you're okay with that.
We've got a program set, but we can talk after.
Okay.
Ross?
Sorry, Ross.
I'm just wanting to plug Civic Tech on Tuesday night. We're just going to be debriefing from the Chinook Blast Hackathon and discussing some of the new projects and ideas that are coming out of there. So if you want to stop by, listen to some of the people that were at the hackathon and their ideas, see what you want to get involved with, or even just talk about your own idea that might be related, come on and visit us.
Ross, any other announcements?
Yeah, just real quick. I just want to shout out to James Radke, who was let go from Platform yesterday. Gratitude to James for guiding us through the process for Platform. And we just signed up our third tester for Semantium. So yeah, having a lot of fun with that. Thanks.
Awesome, thank you. It is the top of the hour, so if you do have to head out, completely understand. Thank you for joining us. If there are more community announcements, please feel free to keep them coming.
I'll jump in here with an announcement for our event next weekend in Edmonton. It's the Alberta Esports Expo. It's going to be the first federally funded esports event in Alberta, so we're super excited about that. We have about 600 people registered so far, so it's really huge, but I'll put a link to that in the chat here in case anyone happens to be joining us from Edmonton.
Thanks, Ryan. All right. Well, don't forget to sign up for Rainforest Circles and join us in person at Lunch Without Lunch. Thanks again, Meghan and Alicia, for being here. And it was great seeing you all. And we look forward to seeing you next week and around the rainforest. Thanks, everyone.